Hello YouTube family, my name is Aditya and you are watching the DevOps Guy. Welcome to the second video of the most frequently asked Linux interview questions. I will add the link of the previous video for those who has not seen it yet. So without wasting any time, let's jump to the question. Very first and important question, explain boot process. It starts with the BIOS. BIOS stands for Basic Input and Output System. Whenever we power on the system runs a self-diagnostic check and detects all the connected input and output peripherals. This process is called POST, Power on Self-Test. Then the BIOS loads the MBR into the memory and executes the MBR. Second step is MBR. It is located in the first sector of the bootable disk. The size of MBR is 500 and it contains three components. First is primary bootloader information of size 446 bytes. Second is partition table information of size 64 bytes. And third is MBI validation check and its size is 2 bytes. Its main purpose is whether the MBR is validate or not. Then MBR load and execute the grub bootloader. Third step of the boot process is grub. It stands for Grand Unified Bootloader. If we have multiple kernel images installed in our system, we can choose which one to be executed. Grub display a splash screen, wait for a few seconds. If we do not enter anything, it loads the default kernel image as specified in the grub configuration file. Grub has the knowledge of the file system. In simple terms, grub has load and execute kernel and initiate initrd image, initialize itself and load the kernel modules and mount the root file system as specified in the grub.config file. Initrd is used by kernel as temporary file system until kernel is booted and the real root file system is mounted, followed by the init. Init execute run level programs, means init identifies the default run level from etc init tab file and we can change this default run level whenever we need, followed by the last step of the boot process, run level. Whenever we start the Linux system is booting, we can see various services getting started. Those services are located in different run level. Execute from the run level directory as defined by our default run levels. Depending on the default init level, the system will execute the program and our boot process complete. Let's begin with hard link and soft link. Hard link is a copy of original file and contain same inode number. If original file deleted, it will keep your data safe in the hard link. Whereas in a case of soft link, it is a kind of shortcut of your original file. It has different inode numbers and if original file is deleted, the soft link becomes invalid. What is inode? Inode is a data structure used to represent file system object. It is an integer which stores information like ownership, access mode, file type. The maximum number of inode is fixed at fs creation, limiting the maximum number of files. To list the inode, the command is ls-li. Next is RAID. Stands for Redundant Array of Independent Disk. It is a data storage virtualization technology that combines multiple physical disk driver components into a single logical unit. It is used for the purpose of data redundancy and performance improvement. There are main two types of RAID available: hardware RAID and software RAID. Hardware RAID is depend on vendor and more expensive, whereas software RAID does not depend on vendor and less expensive. Followed by what is hypervisor and how many types. A hypervisor, also called as virtual machine manager, it is a program that allows multiple operating systems to share a single hardware host. There are two types of hypervisor. Type 1 hypervisor run directly on the system hardware. They often refer to as a native or bare metal hypervisor. Example is VMware. Second type of hypervisor run on host operating system. When virtualization movements first began to take off, Type 2 hypervisor were most popular. Administrator could buy the software and install it on a server they already had. Example, Oracle VM. What are the special file permissions in Linux? So there are three types of special file permissions. One is set user ID, second is set group ID, and third is sticky bit. Set UID abbreviation is SUID. Assigning a user SUID means that you are giving him a special permission, that is user or owner permission over normal permission. To apply SUID, the command is chmod u plus s followed by the file name, and same can be achieved in the octal way chmod plus 4000 followed by file name. SGID, this is the same as SUID, just one difference that it apply on the group level. This is the permission assigned to any file or directory to give normal group member additional authority of running that file with the privileges of group owner. The command is chmod g plus s followed by file name, and in octal chmod plus 2000 file name. Sticky bit, prevent the file or directory to be deleted by non-owner. The syntax of the sticky bit is chmod o plus t followed by file name, and same can be achieved by chmod plus 1000 file name in the octal representation. Next is how to boot from a specific kernel. In order to choose a kernel, we must log into the console, stop the boot at grep menu, and select the kernel. We can also do this by making change in the etc grep.config file. What is SC Linux modes? So there are three types of SC Linux modes. First is enforcing. It checks SC Linux policy and store a log. No can access the services by default, but we can change the policy whenever permissive. It is also called as debugging mode or troubleshooting mode. In this mode, SC Linux policies and rules are applied to subject and object, but action are not affected. Third is disabled. SC Linux is turned off and no warnings and log messages will be generated and stored. Followed by what is root, UID and GID. 0 is the root, UID and GID. For information, local user account have UID and GID starting from 500, whereas UID below 500 are reserved for system account. What is loopback address? A special IP number 127.0.0.1 is designated for the software loopback interface of a machine. The number 127.0.0.0 and 127.255.255.255 is also reserved for the loopback, and it is used for internal testing on local machines. What is SE Linux? It is mainly used to protect internal data from system services. It is a one-time security that allows user and administrator more control over which user can access resources like file and directories. How to execute cron every 5 minutes. So for this, */5 and *** and followed by your file name. Why do we use yum clean all? Yum clean all will clean expire cache, packages, headers, metadata, DB cache, RPM DB and plugins. It makes your system work faster and smoother. What is yum? Yum stands for Yellow Dog Updater Modified. Yum is a package management application for computers running on Linux operating system. Yum is a standard method of managing the installation and removal of software. The yum command has accessed the repository where the packages are available and can install, update, remove and query the package automatically. Next is difference between orphan and zombie process. Orphan process running without parent process and indicated by O, whereas zombie process running without child process and indicated by capital Z. How to kill the process initiated by user. So the command is pkill -u followed by username. Next is what is fencing in Reddit cluster. Fencing is the disconnection of a node from a cluster shared storage. Fencing cuts off input-output from shared storage, thus ensuring data integrity. The cluster infrastructure performs fencing through the fence daemon. The daemon name is fence_d. Next is what is top command used for. Top is the command to see the process's state and status information continuously until we quit. The command is q for quit. Beside the running process, the top command also displays other information like free memory, both physical and swap. What is SAR utility and how to use it? SAR stands for System Activity Report. Using SAR, we can check the information of CPU usage, memory, swap, input-output, disk input-output, networking and paging. The SAR configuration is stored in /etc/sysconfig/sysstats. Before using the SAR utility, first we should install the SAR utility package by yum install sysstat. What are the port number of below services? Sometimes interviewers ask you the port number, so you may take the screenshot of this slide. Next is Kickstart installation. Installation of Reddit Linux in non-interactive mode is called Kickstart installation. Using Kickstart, a system admin can create a single file containing the answer to all the questions that would normally ask during the typical installation process. This installation method can support the use of the single Kickstart file to install Linux on multiple machines, making it ideal for network and system administrators. Next question is, what is Linux kernel? It is an interpreter between Linux OS and the hardware. It is the fundamental component of Linux OS and contains the hardware drivers for the device installed on the system. The kernel is a part of system which load first and it stay on the memory. One important question, what is load average? So the load average is a value which represents the load on a system for a specific period of time. It can be considered the ratio of number of active tasks on the number of available CPUs. We can check it by commands uptime or top command. Below are the representation of up command and top command. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.